science consultant for Passive House. So he, you know, we like to make it as the most efficient assembly as possible, but at the same time, we want to make sure health and safety is addressed first. You know, because if you tighten up a house and also you change the indoor air quality, you're not helping the occupants. And then if you
26th of June. Raised ranch, I mean, just a ranch in Isle La Motte. Lakeside.
Or incorporating a complete system, because if you're doing something and you're changing the scales of how the house operates, but you're not addressing that some of those other items, you can end up creating a catastrophic failure. I hear stories.
So some of the things we're looking for here are, is there a soffit? Does that soffit go to an attic? So we're looking under here, and we don't see a soffit, which makes us think that if there is an attic, there could be issues with venting. And I'm looking inside, and I'm seeing some flats, which means that this should have some venting somewhere, and I haven't seen it yet. The other thing we'd be looking at here is the condition of the roof. This is a metal roof, a screw down metal roof, and that is perfectly okay. Sometimes the gaskets on the screws get damaged through UV and just time, and that can allow some water through. So we're not huge fans of that particular one. The other thing I'm noticing here is the ground is way too high. You see, here is where I get to see a bit of separation, and we really want that to be a minimum of 8 inches. And right now I'm not even seeing, I mean, I'm seeing places where it's under the ground, so that's a issue. It's got this siding. The question is it siding on top of siding? What do they do there? We'll have to see that. We're looking at the condition of the windows, right? We're looking to see if there are any, we got a lot of mold here, not mold, lichen or moss, and that's because there's this tree that's stopping it from getting rid of that. And again, here we have the bottom. Okay, there we go. We have a gable end vent. So this side has a gable end vent. Once again, the ground is too close to the bottom there. This is a slab on grade, and so there's no basement here. Decks are often an issue. I don't know how well this is flashed, but we do have some pretty good overhangs here. Right, looks like about a 2.5 foot overhang, which will reduce splashback, which is why we're worried about the height of the ground to that. But you can see it's raining right now, so we're not wet here. Still no soffits. Another one of these teeny gable end vents. Right, here's an oil tank, double oil tank. Wow. So each of these oil tanks holds 275 gallons. So this is, you know, 550 gallons or so. And that is interesting. They do have the proper connector, so there is a black pipe there. That's what we'd be looking at. We don't want those to be copper. There's a separate building, which is, as far as I know, is not a part of the audit. Let's see if there's a gable end on this side too. Interesting planters. There's a ridge vent. I'm not sure if there's a ridge vent. There could be a ridge vent, but we do have gable ends. So we'll see if there's access to the attic. And
well, how do you want to proceed here? Well, what'd you find out there, Chris?
Not much. We got gable end vents on this and that bit.
The siding goes right down to the ground.
Yeah, exactly, all the way around.
Usually, Craig, we want to see 6 to 8 inches above because that siding right there, it's definitely feasible that water's getting trapped behind that vinyl.
And into the wood part of the structure, right? Yeah. That's what we're concerned about.
And vinyl is a horrible element when it comes to holding moisture against the building.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So if that's getting up in there, then it's going to trap.
And that's pretty constant around the building, is that they've got this rock almost up to the ground. There's a large deck in the back. We'll take a walk around too. There are no soffit vents. There's a gable end vent on this part, kind of a T structure here. There's also one on that side. Is there access to the attic? Are there holes?
Yes, I do believe there is in the far end of the house.
Good,
where we've got some serious work to do in there.
Okay.
So.
There's a double 275-gallon oil tank in that side building.
Okay.
So
what are the pipes? Copper? Or?
no, they're black. Okay. They're the right kind of pipes.
And this is one of the areas that I think Bob really wants to concentrate on. Is you'll see when we get down here, the electrical, the heating, the oil heating, all of this is pretty problematic, and we really, I think, are looking for a comprehensive solution.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll be able to give you advice on that for sure. The good thing is, and Jim, why don't we just walk around, is that the overhangs are wide enough that we're not seeing a lot of, yeah, exactly, all along here, way too high on the ground, but an opportunity to pull it down, right? It's not like no option for pulling it down. Yeah, I was looking at that too. We've got a lot of lichen and moss growing, but that's because of this tree. It's just blocking the sun. And then here, similarly,
there's foam, siding.
okay.
So it feels like they,
Before they put the vinyl up, left the siding, went with approximately an inch of foam over the top, and then the vinyl,
Right.
which makes a vapor sandwich.
So yeah,
And that's
Not
good or bad?
that's bad. So we got some degradation here, and this particular pan is now sloped in, so that's drawing water in.
I think they may already have ordered replacement window.
Okay, that's going to be interesting to know, because what we have advice on windows, there's some really good windows available now that aren't that expensive.
Uh-huh.
That are pretty much the same cost of the one that your brother's already looking at.
See, my concern is you've got greenery growing in the window.
Oh yeah, and
you
you're
might have
you're
rotten sills
5
too,
inches
rotten framing
in.
behind.
Yeah,
Don't doubt it.
so when they replace the windows, there's going to be a stool and some other stuff that's going to have to be replaced there.
And Craig, what we tell people is the first day is the worst day because that's the day you find things. And so we don't want to cause anyone any dismay, but we just are going to be very candid about it.
Well, and you need to. You need to be. We're glad to have you here.
Good.
And the purpose of your being here is to
give you guys a good catalog.
Properly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a concern for me on the roof line a little bit, just the way that that's cut off there. It's not horrible, but it's just interesting. Wind-driven rain coming from this way.
Yeah.
Getting beyond that metal.
Getting under it.
Yeah.
This is north, and so there's some pretty good weather, I think.
Sure.
We didn't get to see it in the winter, but the very first visit.
It's a great spot. I mean, wow.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful spot. Yeah, but there was a lot of ice piled up on that exterior window.
Yeah. Well, when we get up into the attic, we'll be able to give you get our eyes on it and make a recommendation on air sealing. It's most likely gonna be, air sealing if the attic is venting right. That's our main concern. Those small gable vents are not very. Yeah, I was thinking you might want to. Is that dirt?
It's dirt.
Right there. Huh.
It's dirt right underneath this deck.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually
Concrete. Okay. Yeah.
But these are laying right on top of it.
They have sleepers. There's not a lot of space under it.
You know what this probably was, Chris?
There you go.
This was probably a patio first, and they left the concrete, and then that's why it's higher out there, because somewhere in here it's going to stop, it's going to drop off. Yep. And then you're going to have just regular dirt underneath.
Yeah, and we're seeing more concrete blocks here. I think you may be right, Jim. There's probably a step here down that they...
It's a fair slope, but see this? It goes this way.
Yeah.
Both in together.
Yeah, just because of the way it was built.
Well,
and that's separating. You can even see the nails.
Tub, and that was probably more
it was
actually an enclosure, like a screened-in.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
More weight
a
here
pergola.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see the separation
and there's
here.
The block.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, this is what it was.
Yep.
That was a patio.
Yep. With sleepers put on top of it to make it look better. It's been here for a while, obviously, but
I think so.
yeah. This is what I was talking about. There's the double oil tank in there. Black pipe. So this looks good. Very new tanks.
Is
like
it?
to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
are they?
Yeah.
Now, what probably happened was the old ones were
Rusted out or
defunct,
something.
and
Yeah.
the state's new policy is that you have to get these replaced. Look at that, Chris, though. The mold.
Oh, there is mold. I wonder what's going on behind it too.
Yep. It's definitely some water leakage, I would imagine.
Yeah. There's an unheated
This
space.
is a section of the house that they really want to revamp, and you'll see more about why when
Okay.
we get
Good.
inside. So I think that I'm not remembering everything they want to do here as clearly as I would like to, but I think the idea is to try to move all of the utilities out to this area.
Okay.
And
Okay.
keep them out of the main house.
Well, definitely want to make
Got a
sure the
critter.
structure's sound then. Yeah, there's something living under there.
Yeah, there have been a couple of red foxes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I don't know whether they're still there or not. They discovered them shortly after coming up here.
Oh.
They haven't had the property for long.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. But the height to the wood structure is is a problem all the way around. And I really don't think that those gable ends are gonna, when we get up there, I think we're gonna find that they're not giving enough
Airflow.
What did they do to is this a built up roof? You see what I'm seeing? Or is that just a new flashing on the outside to cover up the already 2x6?
I think that's all it is.
Yeah, okay. We'll see when we get in there. Okay, there we're on the outside. Let's go on the inside. It doesn't have a basement, so that'll be...
Window wells, Chris?
Yes, no, I think they're planters.
They are planters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because there's no basement.
Yep.
Ooh, something's still down there.
Sometimes you're not so happy to have. Now these are very simple geometry. I like that. So we usually start the audit by saying we're very nosy. We're going to look everywhere. So
Good. Please do.
The nose knows, Chris.
yeah, it does. It does know. A bit musty for sure.
Definitely
Huh?
musty. How long has this not been lived in, Craig?
I don't really know the answer to that. The people that owned it before Bob and Cheryl were Canadians. They were coming down at the same time. I don't know. These were their homegrown efforts to fix some things or change some things.
Ah, it's just a...
Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Okay. Well, I love the geometry.
Well, good.
So we have a ceiling here that is likely, these tiles have
Possibility of... Oh, those are
Directly-
just sound tiles.
well, what if they're just directly applied?
We'll see.
This height here is less than 8.
But that also has tiles.
Yeah, but then
So when we get in here, we can see the difference. That is from the edge here. That is about the same height. From this height right here.
Yep.
See how the two of them connect.
Yep.
So spray foam against the chimney is always a good idea.
Do you mean that?
No. No, it's a
We
it's a
kind of
fire
assumed
hazard
it-
to do that.
I
Yeah.
kind of assumed it wasn't a very good.
No, you're right. It's just a regular fireplace. Okay, with these, oh, we recognize those.
effective vents.
Yeah, maybe with a fan here.
Now, will this be their full-time residence, Craig?
No, actually, they'll just be here during the summer, although they're thinking about renting it when it's rentable, and when they're not here.
So we turn on the bath fan and we listen to it. This bath fan, so not a bad move. When you're selling a house, make the bathroom really nice.
Yeah.
That's so you can tell that that's what they did. But that bathroom sounds pretty good.
Just before the sale, I believe.
Yeah, feels like it.
Yeah.
It just feels like nobody's ever even been in it.
Yeah, and they obviously started working on
On
the
the
kitchen.
kitchen,
What ended up happening here, I think, though, I'm pretty sure they intended this construction for themselves, and then with the closure of the Canadian border and stuff like that, became more and more difficult. And as the property prices escalated, they began to think about selling and did. Now, here's the magic. And
Oh my gosh, this is
Why
a
does it
mixed
so much?
this is a mixed fuel.
Oh my gosh, it's just
It's a solid fuel, and so this is a really uncommon little baby here. You can actually, unless I have it wrong, it looks mixed fuel, that you could actually burn something else in here, like wood. Yep, exactly. So it's an oil burner on the bottom with a wood box, firebox in it.
Yeah.
Probably about as inefficient as a thing can get.
Oh, great.
But do you feel
Well,
that
they don't want to keep this stuff.
Yeah, no, and we'll give them a recommendation for
do you feel
what
how
to
hot
swap
it
it.
is
At.
in here?
It's really
Yeah.
hot,
Yeah, it's warm.
and that's the attic access.
And there's your
What
attic
I'm wondering here,
access.
Jim, is this mastic on the floor. I'm worried that maybe
yes,
it's asbestos.
those look like 8x8 tiles to me.
It does look like the classic 8x8 tile.
So, Craig, one thing is, it's just one of those markers, indicators, that when a certain size tile was 8x8, it was very popular in the day. It had black mastic on the back, and more than likely than not, it had asbestos in it, and so it needs to be encapsulated or professionally remediated, or something that needs to happen. Clay Point Associates out of Williston is a great testing agency. It's not hugely
Cheap.
expensive, but it's not cheap either.
Right.
They should test this to verify.
Yeah.
I don't know if that
Before
was
you
done.
do any more work,
Yeah. Did
due diligence by the
This
seller.
work was done prior to acquiring
so
the
did
house.
this have a home inspection done?
It did have a home inspection
Did they cite
done.
this?
We'll have to take a look at the report. If you can get us a copy of that home inspection report,
I
that'll help
will
us.
ask Bob for a copy of the home inspection report. I want you guys to have that.
Yep.
I mean, it is possible that this
Perfect.
doesn't have it.
Exactly.
But-
It could be nothing,
When we see this is an indicator.
especially from a house of this age
I
from the
was here
50s.
when the home inspector came. He seemed very competent.
Sure.